Good afternoon, fellow graduates, family, faculty, staff, and platform guests. My name is Rankin MacEachern. I am 27 years old. I hail from Nabu, Nova Scotia, where I currently reside, where I live with my wife Laura and our two sons, Seamus and Levon. It has been about 10 years since I last graced the hallowed halls of Strait Academy in Nabu under the premise of education. And I suppose I'm probably using the word graced pretty loosely. Upon discovering that I had been nominated for valedictorian, it's fair to say that I sort of just shrugged it off. I mean, while yes, I believe that I have the good looks and charm to pull this kind of thing off with ease, it didn't just seem like something that I was qualified for. The reason I decided to accept the honor of valedictorian was out of respect for the individuals who nominated me, which was Taylor Doucette and Roger McKinnon. And to quote Roger's nomination letter, "I have never met a more intelligent and beautiful individual. Rankin is like a second father to me." If you know Roger, he's about 50 years old, and none of that's true at all. In all seriousness, though, it is very flattering, yet a humbling experience to be asked to be here today. So it has been, as I said, 10 years since I've been in school, and like Oscar Wilde said, I am not young enough to know it all. Well, not anymore at least. When I was in high school, to be completely honest, I couldn't have cared less. I wanted to chase girls and drink beer, and as my parents will attest, I did plenty of both. I worked through high school, and I continued to work after high school. I worked a plethora of different jobs, mostly in the construction industry, and most without prospect of much advancement. God has blessed me with a large physique and a strong back, but I thought it might be nice to use my brain again. I finally came to the conclusion that I had to return to school. While it is difficult, I think the best way to explain where I'm at in my life is to describe a very simple comic strip that my brother sent to me, my older brother Ian, when he heard that I would be going back to school. The comic depicts a young man at the bus stop with his son. The man is on his cell phone, is complaining to someone about his bills, while his son is yelling in the background, "When I grow up, I want to be Superman." As the frame progresses, the man and the boy age a little more at the same bus stop. The boy goes on to want to be a Jedi and then a pro athlete and on to wanting to travel forever and not have to pay for university. This goes on until the end frame where the father is an old man and the son is a man, and he says, "Dad, I just want a good job." Excuse me. "So I can support my family." Excuse me. While he holds the hand of his own little boy, who's yelling in the background, "When I grow up, I want to be Superman." I returned to NSCC, not just for me, but for my family, so that I could provide a better life for them. Sitting in a classroom was never something I enjoyed in high school, but when I came to the NSCC, I found a different learning environment, one that gave us the opportunity to work with the tools and materials that we would find in our jobs once we graduated. I found a great teacher in Bob, who was not only talked about how to do the work, but showed us how to do it well. I found classmates like me who wanted to change their lives and learn a trade. I'd like to ask one of those classmates to stand right now, and that is Roger McKinnon. He was one of those classmates who, and I'd like a round of applause for Roger. Roger was one of those classmates who enlightened us all with his vast knowledge and was always there to lend a hand. The NSCC provided me and Roger with the environment, tools, and education I needed to begin and be able to begin a new career. So, what to say? What do I tell you? I could tell you all to do your best and never give up, but sometimes your best will not be enough and you might give up. Things won't go your way all the time, and that's okay. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Some of the best things that ever happened to me are based on things not going the way I wanted. When things go wrong, and things will go wrong, you might think it's the end of the world, but good things can come out of it. As hard as it may seem, when you look back on hard times and low points in your life, as crazy it may sound, you may learn to appreciate these times and events. I know that each of us has made mistakes, and we're all graduating today with a certificate or diploma in our hands that will open doors for our future. Whether this is a stepping stone for further education or your career choice, education is always important. For many of us, like myself, it was not an easy journey to get here. Many of us have families, jobs, children, or other commitments. The decision to come here was not easy whether you were 18 or 48, but we are here at the end of our journey and the beginning of a new one. I'd like to finish with gratitude. If you ever hear somebody tell you that they did it on their own and nobody did them any favors, I give you permission to call them out on that. We've all needed help at some point in time, and we will all need it again. I know each one of us would have people that we would like to thank for helping us get to where we are today. I'd like to start by thanking my instructor, Bob Langdon. His knowledge and advice throughout the year was paramount to my success and the success of the class. I have about 25 other friends who are not here today, but if they were, I tell them how much their help and friendship has benefited me over the past year. I'd like to thank my mother and father. At 27 years old, I'm blessed to have parents that love and support me as much as I do. It's impossible to describe how grateful I am for everything they've done and continue to do for me. And to my wife, Laura, you've not only put up with me and my usual shenanigans on a regular basis, but you've allowed me to try and build a better life for us and our boys. I love you, and I would be nowhere if not for you. I hope each of you will take the opportunity this evening, or whenever possible, to thank the individuals that made your success at the NSCC possible. Thank your friends, family, and loved ones who stood by you, encouraged you, and helped you to be here today. To quote the late Alistair MacLeod, all of us are better when we are loved. Congratulations to you all on a job well done, and thank you very much.